Hey friends, welcome back to Cooking with Aubrey. Today we are making lasagna, but we're gonna make it a little bit different. We're gonna use white sauce and red sauce for this lasagna to spice it up. It's gonna be delicious. Let's get started. When I'm editing these videos, I promise you, I am always cringing at myself. So if you're ever like, oh, look at that. It's perfect. So it seems to me that Fresh Thyme is not bringing back roasted garlic because ever since like quarantine, it's not there. So Fresh Thyme, are you bringing back roasted garlic or what? Because I'm not a fan of freaking garlic. Like I love garlic, don't get me wrong, but I want literally like nothing to do with it. You know what I mean? So if you could bring it back, that'd be great. So instead we're gonna roast our own garlic today. So what I'm doing is I'm just taking like the cloves, we're just gonna roast them by adding some oil in a small little pot to them. Just do it over the stove. It's pretty easy to do. It's just the annoying part is like taking the garlic out. A good tip when peeling garlic is to keep a damp towel right by you so you can wipe off your hands because garlic gets really sticky when you're unpeeling it. So we have 1 cup of peeled garlic cloves here in a pot, and I'm just going to cover it with enough oil to just cover the top of the cloves. This oil that's gonna be like leftover from this be great for like dipping bread, like for the meal. You know, you cut up some bread, toast it off, baguette or a focaccia, like a 3-cheese focaccia would be nice, and then you just dip it in this oil that we're gonna make right now. I just covered the cloves with the oil. We're gonna put it on low heat on the stovetop until they turn golden brown, then they're all done. The garlic has been cooking on low heat for 10 minutes now, as you can see, starting to brown up a little bit here. The roasted garlic is now finished. It's been cooking for 15 minutes on low heat, and you just take it right off the heat. For the tomato sauce, we're going to roast onion and tomato. We're only gonna use half of this yellow onion. This is gonna be a very basic, easy sauce. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna roast the onion and the tomato, and I'm just gonna cut this onion into 2/4 like that and just have that roast. I'm gonna use 5 of these vine-ripened tomatoes. They're medium-sized tomatoes. I'm just gonna cut these in half. Oh, that onion. I'm just gonna cut these in half, place them on a sheet pan, and we're gonna throw these in the boiler on high. So you want your boiler preheating on high heat. Oh my God, that onion, you know, onion usually doesn't make me cry, but not today. So we're just gonna roast these and then we're gonna puree them. It's gonna be very simple, very easy to do for red sauce. And I want this red sauce to be really thick. Like I don't want it to be really liquid. I hate watery lasagna. It's no bueno. To roast the tomatoes and the onion, we are going to drizzle them with a little bit of olive oil and then kind of just spread it around. So we're just gonna kind of go like that, just get it all over them. And then we're going to add some salt and pepper to these. And I'm gonna have these face up on here. So just a little bit of salt and then some fresh cracked pepper. Fresh cracked pepper does make a difference. And this is just gonna go on the broiler on high until it's golden brown. We are going to start cooking up some sweet Italian pork sausage. I'm using 3/4 pound of the pork sausage. I'm going to use a 1/2 pound of the ground beef, 9% lean, 10% fat. You don't want a whole lot of fat in this because it's not like you're making a burger where you want it to be really juicy. We're going to have fat from the sausage anyway, so you want to go with the option that has less fat. This will be a part of our red sauce, so you just want to break this up, and after we puree the tomato and the onion and the garlic together, we're going to add it into the sausage and the beef. Mixing up sausage and beef really adds more depth of flavor to your lasagna rather than just using plain ground beef or plain ground pork. Adding in sausage adds in a whole new level of flavor, and it gives it some nice fattiness. You want to break the meat up into small chunks because you don't want huge chunks of meat in every bite with your lasagna. So you want to make sure that the meat is broken up into smaller chunks. These nice small pieces here, this is what we're looking for. This is how we want the sausage and the beef to look. We want it to be that really nice, deep, golden brown. We want it to be really crispy like this because this is gonna add texture into the lasagna. And so you just want it to get nice golden brown like this. It's been on low medium heat for about 25 minutes now. So the roasted garlic's all finished, so I'm just going to take out the garlic and set it aside. This oil here that you cook the garlic in literally tastes like garlicky oil. So this would be perfect. Grab yourself some bread, get some 3 cheese focaccia bread for dinner, slice it, toast it, dip it in this oil, make it all fancy, you know? And then we're gonna go ahead and use this garlic for the sauces. Half of this is gonna go towards the red sauce and half of this is gonna go towards the white sauce. I'm just gonna mince up half of this garlic for the white sauce, and then the other half I'm gonna blend with the tomatoes and the onion. The reason why we're roasting the garlic, the onion, and the tomato is because it adds more flavor to everything. It adds another depth of flavor when you're roasting something because it caramelizes the sugars within the food, which is why golden brown food tastes so tasty and good compared to not being golden brown. So we just want to add as much levels of flavor that we could possibly pack into it, you know? Why not? Why have a bland lasagna when you don't have to have a bland lasagna? Now we're going to cut up the oregano and the basil for the red sauce. After we puree everything together, we're going to add the herbs in towards the end because you don't want them to get too wilty. Part of me just kind of wants to throw it in the blender and blend it with everything, but we shouldn't do that. Not today. Today I feel like not being a lazy POS, so we're gonna cut them up today. For oregano, all you're going to do is grab a piece. You're gonna go to the top, not the very tippy top, but maybe like an inch down from the top of the stem part. And then you're gonna pull down backwards. So you're gonna lightly use your fingers to pinch and then pull downwards. That way you're not plucking each one off like that. And then the top, you just do that. And the roasted onion and tomatoes are all finished cooking. Oh my God, that looks so good. We're gonna go ahead and puree up all the roasted tomatoes and the onions. We are roasting the tomatoes and onions because roasting it adds another depth of flavor. It caramelizes the sugars within the foods. So that's why something golden brown tastes a lot tastier than something that's not golden brown. So we just wanna add as many depths of flavor as we can within a dish. So we're just gonna toss this all in here. And when we're pureeing something that's hot, you wanna start at a low heat and slowly work your way up to a high, or a low speed, I'm sorry. You wanna start off at a low speed and slowly work your way up to a higher speed. And the reason why is because if you start at a high speed, pressure will build up too quickly, and it will explode and it will go everywhere and it will burn you. So you don't want to do that. I've actually seen that happen before. It was nasty. So you want to make sure that you're starting at a low speed and then you're slowly working up to a high speed, because this can literally leave like first, second, or third degree burns on you. And when you're doing it, you're just gonna want to cover it with a damp towel. Actually, not dry, a damp one. Cover with a damp towel. You don't need to put your lid on, and you're just gonna leave like a corner of it open like that. So you just go like this, and then the reason why is that so that way it has like a pocket to ventilate for that air to escape. Otherwise, that pressure is gonna build up, and then that's what will make it explode. So starting at a low heat, leaving it partially open. Okay, or if you have a lid that has a hole like mine does, this too, like I could just put this on without the middle part in and just leave this open and then use that as well. It's whatever your preference is. I'm just used to using a towel. So yeah, and then you just start low, go high, I can't express that enough, and then just until it's smooth. Now the tomato, onion, garlic's all pureed up. We're gonna go ahead and add this right in with the sausage and the ground beef. Go ahead and just dump this in. Want to make sure the heat's all the way down. So we want this to be really thick like this. Like this is what I want. We don't want that watery garbage nonsense of a sauce. So this is, oh my gosh, this looks delicious just like this. Can I just eat this whole pan just like this? Oh, look how thick that is. Yes. Got a little bit of that good sausage grease. Oh my God. Look at that. Look at that, guys. We're gonna go ahead and add in those fresh herbs, the oregano and the basil. Stir that in. This is Flavor Town. Look at that. Look at that. It needs a little bit more salt, so I'm going to add in 2 teaspoons. That is perfect. So I'm just going to turn off the heat. Just set this off to the side until we're ready to use it to assemble the assemble the lasagna. If you're watching this and you're wishing that you were here with me to smell and taste all this deliciousness, please like, comment, subscribe, and ring the bell. I truly appreciate it. It helps support me, you know. Also, there's so many of you just watching these videos without liking, commenting, or subscribing. So that's probably you. Go comment, go like, go subscribe. Come on, ring the bell. I know you can do it. We're gonna start on the white sauce. So we're going to squeeze some lemon juice. And I always use fresh lemon juice because that lemon juice that comes in that little squeeze bottle does not taste like lemon juice. And if you think it does, then I don't think you've ever eaten a lemon before. So please just take 2 seconds to squeeze some lemon, and I'm just doing it right over a mesh strainer into a bowl. That way I don't have to worry about catching the seeds or taking the seeds out. And the reason why we use lemon juice is to finish off the sauce, so it cuts through all of that fattiness from the heavy cream and the Parmesan. For the white sauce, we are going to first cook the garlic in a butter for just a little bit because this is already cooked because it's roasted in that oil already. And then we're going to add in heavy cream, reduce that down, and then we're going to add in the Parmesan and finish it off with lemon juice. So this is a block of Parmesan. Now you can get already grated Parmesan at the store or shredded, but when you buy it that's already pre-shredded or pre-grated, it doesn't melt as nicely. So for a smoother, better consistency, I'm just gonna grate it myself. I'm just using a microplane here, which it just finally grates the cheese, and I just want it nice and fine so it just melts nicely. Parmesan is a hard cheese, so you know, I don't want like really big like chunks of it if I was using like my regular like box grater, because it just wouldn't melt as smoothly. So I'm just using this grater. Now this is unnecessary, you can use a box grater, but you know, if you just want to up the level, these are just the little tips that you use to up your game, you know? When you're starting to get to the end here, and you see how like that end part has like that darker like yellow color, that's the rind of the cheese. That's edible. So if you were to grate that up, it wouldn't do any harm to you. It's just a tougher part of the cheese. It's dried out from when the cheese was aging. You don't want to grate that though. You want to avoid that. So when you get down to that part, you can stop grating the block of cheese. I just want to stuff my face with this cheese. Look at that. Look at that. Look at it. Look at it. We're going to add a tablespoon of butter into a pan that's been preheating on low heat for the white sauce. Then we're going to go ahead and add in that minced garlic, that minced roasted garlic from earlier. And because the garlic is already cooked, I'm not worried about this cooking up. So I'm going to go ahead and add in the cream right away. Going to add in a quart of heavy cream. We are going to reduce this down. We're going to bring it up to a simmer and just let it start reducing. I'm not going to add in any salt right now because the Parmesan cheese is going to add a lot of saltiness to it. So I'm not going to salt until after the Parmesan cheese is already in the sauce. You want to be careful that your cream does not overflow in your pan. If the heat is up too high, this will boil over. So you just got to keep an eye on it. As you can see, it's slowly rising. So I'm just going to turn down the heat and it will go back. Now it's going back down. We want to reduce the cream by about half. So you want that water to evaporate from the cream and to reduce down to about half of what you started with. The cream has been reducing for a half hour now, and it is nice and thickened. Look at that. Oh, it's gonna be so good. So we are ready to add in our cheese. Just gonna melt that down. Oh my gosh. Oh, yes. The sauce still needs a little bit of salt, so I'm gonna add in a teaspoon of salt. I'm gonna turn off the heat. And now we're going to add in the lemon juice. Before adding in lemon juice, it's very, very rich. And so what the lemon juice will do, it's going to brighten up the sauce. Like the sauce won't taste lemony because we're not adding enough lemon into the sauce to make the lemon the predominant flavor. It's just basically gonna be in the very back of your mouth, and it's gonna leave a nice clean finish on your palate rather than just that heavy richness. So that way, it's just nicer to eat that way. For the noodles, I'm going to use this Cecco. I probably just butchered that, but Cecco. I'm going to use their noodles. This brand is my favorite brand of pasta noodles if I'm going for traditional pasta noodle. But otherwise, I do also love brown rice noodles as well. You're just going to cook whatever noodles you use. Just follow the package directions. Just always salt your water though, because when you're boiling it, you want to make sure the salt's in there, so that way your noodles are properly salted as well. So that way, as you're properly salting throughout all the stages of cooking, the end product is properly salted and you don't need to add any additional salt. For the ricotta, we are going to add in some salt, and that's it. So, because we want to make sure everything is properly salted. So I'm gonna start off with a teaspoon. That looks like it will be just fine. Just the 1 teaspoon of salt in the ricotta. Ricotta is really good. Oh my God. It is snow. Oh my fucking God. Let me show you what I just looked up and saw at my fucking window. What the actual fucking fuck is this? Aubrey and snow do not mix well. Anywho, ricotta is very sweet. Not very sweet, it's slightly sweet. So it adds a little bit of another component of flavor into your lasagna. So now we are going to assemble the lasagna, and we're gonna do a layer of meat, red sauce on the bottom, ricotta next, white sauce next, cheese, noodle. That's what I'm gonna do. That's what I'm gonna do. Oh, look at that. It's perfect. Let's give this baby a try. It smells so delicious. That is really good. This is the first lasagna I have enjoyed in years. Usually I don't make lasagna. I never order lasagna. And if someone makes lasagna, I don't eat it. And the reason why is because it's always like too much red sauce or too watery, just not enough flavor. There's like no flavor in it, but this is packed full of flavor. Oh my God. I make this stuff called Easter bread, and this is it tastes really similar to that. So you don't really taste it's not like a punch of red sauce. So if you're like a red sauce die-hard lover and like you need to put a god-awful amount of red sauce on everything, then this recipe might not be for you. But for people who aren't like that, you're gonna love this because the red sauce is very toned down with all the ricotta and that white sauce, which is what I wanted. But the red sauce by itself is so like strong flavor though that it's still there. It's still in the background. You didn't lose that magic and that meatiness. Oh my God. Oh my gosh, you guys have no idea how happy I am right now. This is the most perfectly balanced lasagna ever. You have that red sauce that's roasted, so it gives you that nice deep caramelization flavors. And then you add that in with the sweet Italian sausage and the beef. So there's a ton of flavor going on with that sausage and the beef, and we really crisped that up and caramelized it, and now it adds texture into the bite. It's not so just mush, because lasagna can be very mushy as well. And so really cooking that sausage and that beef nice and slow until it got really nice and golden brown really added a lot of texture to the dish as well. And that ricotta is just like the star ingredient right now. But the ricotta is what's bringing all these flavors together and is a perfect marry of white sauce, red sauce, and meat. Oh my gosh. And then of course you have the crunchy cheese on top. You guys are going to love this. Valentine's Day is coming up around the corner. This is a dish that's not that hard to execute, and you're gonna blow your partner away. Highly recommend making this for Valentine's Day. And if you guys have any requests for me, please comment down below. I always take your requests into consideration. I have made several videos based off of requests from you guys. So you guys have an amazing rest of your day. I love you. I have to go drive in this fucking snow now. I'm absolutely thrilled, let me tell you. Anyway, love you guys. Have an amazing rest of your day, and I will see you soon.